Bleach is a show about a spiky, orange-haired high school anime boy that's 15 years old but looks 25 named Ichigo Kurosaki. He has the ability to see dead people, and neither he nor his family ever really questioned why. I guess they just chose to think of it as undiagnosed schizophrenia. Anyway, one day, a mysterious girl shows up at his house, and she turns out to be a soul reaper, or shinigami if you want to be a weeb about it. Her name is Rukia. And she tells Ichigo it's her job to usher the souls of the dead into the next world called the Soul Society. There are two types of ghosts, holes and assholes. Wait, sorry, holes and hollows. Don't look at me, I didn't pick these Kingdom Hearts ass names. Holes are your typical friendly ghosts. These are the ones that Ichigo usually deals with on a daily basis. But they don't mean any harm, they usually just tell Ichigo classified state secrets. These ghosts need a little help in order to get into the afterlife, and that means getting a little bonk on the head with the Heaven Hammer. Hollows are ghosts that miss the bonk bus one too many times and turn into violent man-eating monsters. One such hollow is in the area, and Rukia is trying to hunt it down. But it could be anywhere. Rukia! Anywhere. Rukia, help me! Rukia winds up getting her ass blasted defending Ichigo, and in a last-ditch effort to save their lives, she transfers all her powers into him. And bam! Ichigo is now a Soul Reaper, complete with his own goth samurai clothes and comically large anime sword. Ichigo defeats the Hollow and saves the day, but is then informed that he kinda stole all of Rukia's Soul Reaper juice and she can't go home now. So now it's up to Ichigo to take up the mantle of Soul Reaper and fight to protect his friends and family from Hollows. And also, she needs a place to stay, so she's gonna live in his closet. It should have been me, goddammit! Speaking of Ichigo's friends, we have Orihime, a female classmate that actually does start off with a fun and well-rounded personality, but eventually just focuses on her fun and well-rounded personalities, if you know what I'm saying. Watch in real time as all plot relevance and character development slowly transfers from Orihime's character and goes into making her boobs bigger every time she shows up on screen. We also have Chad, the tall, strong, silent type whose job it is to have the most wasted potential on this show. And finally, Ishida, the serious, glasses-wearing dork that fights using a bow and arrow. He also stops being relevant about 50% through the story. Noticing a theme here. That is, until the author decides to give Ishida one last chance at plot relevance by making him turn evil and join the villain team. Even though anyone with functioning eyeballs could tell he was just pretending to be evil. I seriously don't understand what his game plan was, and he honestly would have gotten more done by just writing a strongly worded letter instead. Now's a good time to talk about the power system in Bleach. You see, every Soul Reaper has a sword called a Zanpakuto. They all start off as normal katanas, but then digivolve into something called a shikai. At this point, the sword looks drastically different and comes with some kind of special ability. One sword can create ice attacks, another can stretch out like a whip and attack from a distance, and some are completely worthless. In Ichigo's case, he goes from big anime sword to big anime sword that looks like a kitchen knife. And as far as his sword's special ability, it looks like a big kitchen knife. And for the characters that actually matter, Zanpakuto have the ability to go even further beyond and digivolve into its most powerful form, Bankai. I'm not gonna lie, Bankai is the coolest part of Bleach. Bankais are usually just a stronger version of the Shikai. So ice attacks turn into more powerful ice attacks, whip sword turns into big bamboo snake whip sword, and some are completely worthless. In Ichigo's case, instead of a special Bankai gimmick, Ichigo instead gains massive stat buffs to his speed and strength. Super strength and speed that become completely outclassed and irrelevant immediately after that first fight. I'm serious, the show spends like the first two major arcs building Ichigo up as this prodigy with limitless potential not seen in thousands of years, and then spends the next two major arcs introducing his face to his ass over and over again. In addition to Zanpakutos, we also have holofication. Certain characters, Ichigo, have the ability to put on a hollow mask which gives them a huge burst of strength. In Ichigo's case, he can only use it for 11 seconds. That means he gets 11 seconds of being a badass before it shatters and then... Eventually, Ichigo is able to maintain it for as long as he wants. And once he accomplishes this, he immediately stops using it altogether for some reason. Not because he can't use it, but because... I don't know, he doesn't wanna. But what good is a hero without a villain to fight? Bleach has plenty to choose from. In the first major arc, we have battle-hungry psychos, mad scientists that perform human experiments, and worst of them all, furries. Then in the next major arc, we have battle-hungry psychos, mad scientists that perform human experiments, and worst of them all, furries. But if you want to talk Bleach villains, the biggest, baddest bitch of them all is Aizen. A character that has so many plans and contingencies, it makes Light Yagami look like a mouth-breathing caveman. Aizen is strong enough to take on and single-handedly defeat several captains with very little effort. On top of that, he has the most broken ability in the entire show, Kyokatsuigetsu, aka complete hypnosis. Here's how it works. If you look at his sword when he activates the ability, he can control all 5 of your senses to make you see and feel whatever he wants. It never goes away, and there are no drawbacks or limitations to how many people he can use it on. Meaning, he can make you watch all of Bleach's filler episodes and you can't do shit about it. With an ability this strong, you might be wondering how anyone could possibly get around it. And the answer is, they don't. Turns out, Ichigo was able to defeat him because he never actually saw Kyokatsuigetsu in the first place, so he couldn't be hypnotized. Just imagine if he did, though. Wow, you're a pretty good kisser, Ichigo. Too bad that also makes you a homosexual. But I know what you're thinking. If Ichigo only won because he never saw its activation, why wouldn't Aizen at least try to use it on him when he was about to lose? Or for that matter, why didn't Aizen use his Bankai at any point in the story? That's a good question. Watch as each major arc introduces an insane number of new characters that will take any existing character arcs and throw them in the trash. Ever want to know more about the sexy fireworks lady with the one arm and the huge tits? Too bad, you're never going to see her again until almost the end of the manga. Did you ever want to see if the pretty boy Soul Reaper Yumichika ever gets his secret found out by Kenpachi and Ikaku? A secret he was literally willing to die for? Nah, no time for that. Here's 2 freaks and a child that turns into a sexy lady with huge tits. Throw these 2 out, keep the tits. Throw her out too, fuck it. How about Urahara? You know, the walking MacGuffin that solves any problem with hand-wavy anime science? He has this constant air of shadiness that never really goes away, and it feels like he's one plot twist away from becoming a villain. Perhaps we could have used the plotline fully exploring this shadiness, but instead we get shit like this. Hope you kids enjoyed the ice cream. Enjoy it while you can, that is. Because it'll melt in the sun, of course. And because it's the last time you'll get to eat it. Since that was the last one in my fridge, you see. The ice cream is made of souls from a failed experiment 1,000 years ago in the Soul Society. Would you shut up? All of this culminating in an ending so rushed and unsatisfying it makes Jujutsu Kaisen's ending look like Breaking Bad. There was some behind-the-scenes thing going on at Shonen Jump while the final arc was being written where, long story short, the manga got cancelled and cut short right at the finish line. Moments that should have been huge and hype, like Ichigo finally revealing his final Bankai, gets King Crimsoned out of existence and you never even get to see what it actually does. Yuha Baha, who at this point was an unbeatable reality warping god that could see and counter any and all possible futures, was defeated by a Deus Ex Machina he could not see coming, because the story needed to be over now. And Chad gets sidelined one last time because fuck you, that's why. I'm currently on the run from Shonen Jump Hitmen. Yes, that's a real thing. They're telling me I need to end the video prematurely, but before that happens, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Please, you have no idea what it's like out here. The video's about to end. Please like and subscribe.
Have a rotten day!